Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Megaswan and in this video, I count down my favorite Pokemon generations. Now, before we hop into the video, I want to cover two things. One, I don't bear any ill will towards any generations at all, so I will not hate on any of them, not even Gen 5. And two, these are my opinions, not yours, so they are bound to be a little different. If you disagree with my choices, and you think yours are much better, be sure to leave a comment down below explaining exactly why yours are better. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. At the number 7 spot, we have Generation 2. So the reason that Gen 2 is at the bottom is not because it's bad, because it's really not at all, but because I have hardly played it and have no good or bad feelings towards it. There's some really good Pokemon in Gen 2, like Scizor or Tyranitar, and overall, it's definitely not a bad generation, but it's also definitely not my favorite. The legendaries aren't too bad in it either. With that, let's hop into number 6, which is Generation 5. Now, you may be thinking this is here because of all the weird and stupid or unoriginal Pokemon, but I actually think this generation definitely gets way too much hate. It has some really good Pokemon that came from it, like Zoroark or Haxorus, and Gigalith, of course, all them spikes coming off of it with that amazing shiny as well. However, it is the number 6 spot because, again, I did not play it much. It is above Gen 2, however, because, like I said, it's got some really good Pokemon in it who are in my top favorites, Zoroark specifically. And with that, let's get into number 5, which is Generation 6. This is where the gameplay starts coming into play. I really like the idea behind the Kalos region. In fact, it being set in France is really creative and unique for Game Freak. Also, with the introduction of Mega Evolution, it is definitely a great generation. There's also the fact that Lucario is literally just handed to you after a battle, with Korrina, I believe. And as you all may know, Lucario is by far my favorite Pokemon of all time. But that's for another video. And with that, number 4, which is Gen 4. To start out, Gen 4 has one of my favorite starters of all time, Infernape, and that is just the beginning. There is an array of great Pokemon in here, including Luxray, who is a electric beast. Got Garchomp, who is so badass, he outranks his own Mega. Weavile, who is an ice ninja god looking, oh my god, what the hell is this thing? It's so fast. And of course, like said in the previous entry, Lucario comes from Gen 4, who again is my favorite Pokemon. Then there are the legendaries. Well, Palkia looks like a dildo. Let's be honest, he literally does. Dialga is an absolute beast of a legendary. And then I believe we have Arceus and Giratina and all of them added on as extras. Giratina is a great legendary. It looks really cool. I like the dark aspect of it. And Arceus, it's the god of all Pokemon, of course. You know, I don't much care for it, but it is what it is. And with that, let's hop into number 3, which is where I start getting some haters. Specifically, you Gen 1ers. Because number 3 is Gen 1. It may have been the first generation I played, but it sure as hell ain't my favorite. It is great for nostalgia and everything, but there are better generations in my eyes. I love a lot of the Pokemon in this generation, not only for nostalgia reasons, but also because a lot of them are actually still competitively viable through one way or another. Gen 1 is only number 3 because of the gameplay aspect. Number 2 and 1 are just better games to play than this generation. And with that, number 2, which is generation number 7. So it seems as though this list is in order of how much I played each generation, because Gen 7 is my second most played generation. But besides that, it is also the best generation played graphically. It is so smooth and well put together. Also, the Pokemon in this generation are absolutely amazing. With starters like Litten and Rowlet, you start off great and it builds up after that. On the first route, you're able to catch a Pokemon which turns into one of my favorite electric type Pokemon, Vikavolt. Then there is the Evil Team, which is just a bunch of punks causing some ruckus, called Team Skull. When the real assholes of this generation are the Aether Foundation, specifically Lusamine, and the Legendaries. They are absolutely amazing. Solgaleo is one of my favorite Legendaries so far. And Lunala is not far behind, though I'm going to keep the place in my heart for Solgaleo over Lunala. And with that, we've come to the number 1 spot, which you may have guessed is Generation 3. There's so much I can say about Generation 3 that it's all hard to sort through and figure out which to say. It is nostalgic for me because this gen is when I remember finally clicking with me that I liked this franchise. I have played this gen so much that I know it better than the back of my hand. From where to go to who to talk to, I could probably fly through these games in a matter of hours, and I have done so. In, I believe, 4.5 hours to be specific. You may have also guessed another reason I like this gen. That is that it contains my favorite starter Pokemon of all time, Mudkip. But that's not to say I don't like the others as well. All 3 starters in this generation are amazing. Then there are the legendaries, Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. I used to be obsessed with Groudon because it looked so OP. I mean, come on, it's a continental Pokemon. And Kyogre has grown on me very, very recently as a very beautiful Pokemon to look at. And then Rayquaza. Everybody loves Rayquaza. If you don't like Rayquaza, then you don't like power. He is completely overpowered god of a Pokemon, and to me holds the position of one of the top legendaries of all time. Oh, and as for how much I played these games, I remember about 3 straight years where all I did was sneak my Game Boy Advance or Advance SP into school just to play Ruby. Yeah, so definitely played it a lot. I logged in a couple, probably 1,000 hours into this game. So now you know which generations I like the most. I would love to know which generation you like the best, so let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to leave a like on the video. If you enjoyed the video and may want to be notified when I upload more great content, subscribe and hit that bell icon. Anyway, that's the end of the video. My name is Max Wampario, and you stay the very best.